Hi, it's Maria from the Tarot Shop here, and in this video I want to go through or give you a look inside of the Morgan Greer. It's actually been around since 1979, so if it's still in print today, and we have two versions in stock. We have the cards, standard cards that I'm going to walk through with you now, and a Morgan Greer in a tin. So if it's still around after 1979, I think you can safely say that it's still a firm favourite today. Not a lot of people have seen inside, so I thought I would take you through the interior. So you get it either in that one or the tin. So let's have a look at the cards. We'll start straight away with the Fool. I'll walk you through the major arcana first. The Magician. I love borderless cards, so for me they really are the sort of cards I enjoy, I'm looking for. The High Priestess. She's got both hands on the Torah and her feet are on the crescent moon. You can see the Empress is expecting as well, can't you? I don't see a Venus sign on here, which is what you usually have in the Rider-Waite, but I might be missing it. So there's the crops, she's with water. The Emperor, an eagle on his head. They're not the same, but they're not dissimilar, are they? So you can see that these are very Rider-Waite based, quite traditional. The Hierophant. Obviously, we're missing the other people in the cards because you'd have two people down here looking up. The Lovers. Chariot. Oh, he looks quite startled, this lion, doesn't he? Colours are gorgeous, aren't they? They're very vibrant. That's a good Wheel of Fortune. See, somebody else is dictating whose turn it is, and it does feel very fateful, doesn't it? The Wheel of Fortune. It's an evolutionary change and very driven by what's, your time. Karma, some people say, don't they? Justice. The Hanged Man. Death. I like a little bit more optimism in the Death card, I must admit, but the sun is still rising on the horizon, so actually there is something to look forward to because this life has ended because it needed to, and there's a new life about to begin. So it's a card of endings. Temperance. I think this is the truest, this is what people expect, isn't it, when they see the Devil card. I prefer to see people that are chained because then it means that it's, the traditional for me, which is that it's all about temptation and unchaining yourself and staying focused. It's about distraction, isn't it? And I wouldn't read that any differently, even with this visual card there. The Tower, Star, the Moon. They're still baying at the moon. Path is about to be discovered. Interesting, when the Sun, he's put, I say he because I'm talking about Bill Greer, who designed the cards. I'll read you a little bit about him in a second. In the normal one, there's a child on a horse, so that's interesting. Judgment. And the World. The world is at your feet. We'll move on to the Pentacles. It's lovely, this card. Serious look on his face. He's got some decisions to make. This is the apprenticeship card, beginning, creating a new financial journey. The creation as it's becoming a reality, turning into reality, looking after our money. Oh, crumbs, okay, yep. Loss, 5. Generosity, still got money to give around. So you can see there's still the links there. I go through each of these cards from the Rider-Waite base in the tutorial, so you can see why I'm pointing these things out and saying he's still doing this, because that's the cards, those are the cards I teach with. And I think it's a good base, and then you can move on to, I mean, Morgan Greer, as I've mentioned, has been around since 79, so it's a long time. Master craftsman, much older than the apprenticeship as well, even in look. Flamboyant, isn't it, this one, the 9? Oh, she's got that, she's still got a falcon on her. Beautiful rings. Yes, it's very flamboyant. Completion, we've got the page, knight, queen and kings. Moving on to the rods, which are the wands, as we know. And look, these are very similar to the Rider-Waite. There's not much difference there really, so it's easy to make that transference to a new deck if you prefer these. There's a reason they're still around, isn't there? He wanted, I think one of the reasons that he wanted you to make a connection with the card before actually even looking at the card from a colour perspective. So the colour was to draw you in, if I remember rightly. Cups. You see this card a lot when they're with the Morgan Greer, when people are talking about it. 3. So there's no glasses raised, but it's 4. Oh yeah, this is still lost, look, you can see. I guess she does look older than him, so for the nostalgia. Red, lovely red cloak, and she's walking away. Or he. She or he. Oh, it's like Friar Tuck, this one, isn't it? As you might imagine, very happy with himself. Oh. And there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is the card of happy ever after. The page, knight, queen, king, and the swords. These are always quite alarming swords. Let's see how the swords are presented here. Yep, take your blindfold off, make a decision. We've actually got some blood dripping in this heart, so you know this is the card of heartache, grief, isolation. Just calmer waters ahead. Yep, look out, there's a thief about. She can't speak in this one because in the Rider-Waite originals she can actually, her mouth is not bound, so she can actually speak. And in the Rider-Waite, this is the one where she's sitting on the bed, isn't it, with her head in her hands, worrying herself, not able to sleep at night. We know this is a 9, so you'd be able to transfer it, but the visual's not quite the same. Oh, that's a very strong 10, isn't it? And as you know, when we've reached the 10, it's completed, so it cannot get any worse. It's over now. Time to move on. This is the turning point mentally, because swords are mental in more ways than one. Page, knight, and there's the queen, as we know, we see her on the front of the deck, and king. So those are the Morgan Greer, still around since 1979 for a very good reason. Just a little bit on Bill Greer. You get, with the deck, you get an illustration booklet and just a card that tells you what deck it is. And then Bill Greer. So Bill Greer was born and raised in Missouri, studied at Kansas City Art Institute and the University of Colorado. He has lived and worked mostly in the East with periodic forays into Texas and Missouri, where he maintains a home. I mean, I'm assuming this is historical, information, so things might have changed. He says, "For as long as I can remember, I've been interested in the tarot. First responding to the visual richness as many artists have, I've also been interested in metaphysics, the occult, magic and psychic phenomena, as well as in the writings of Young, Fraser, Fry and Campbell, who were of considerable influence as I began to identify archetypes and how they are part of our everyday life. In the Morgan Greer deck, the case book was used as a primer. There are certain colours used as dictated by case for symbolic reasons. I sought to incorporate these colours and elaborate, so as to create an immediate emotional reaction to each card, even before an image could be looked at in depth. The work was done in the country, away from distractions, in a practical way. All the years of research and study were allowed to flow into form. He's done an amazing job. They are gorgeous. Okay, so that's the Morgan Greer, and I thank you for your time.